Yeah.
Okay. Hello, YouTube. This is Mariah.
And this is Dee.
And we are here to share with you all about our engagement from the start and planning the engagement all the way up until about a week into the engagement. We are 1 week and 2 days into the engagement, and it has already been a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster in good ways and some other random ways, to say the least. I won't say bad, just experiences.
Yeah.
So hopefully some of you guys can relate. Some of you guys can get some pointers, some things that you maybe haven't thought about if you're planning to engage, and just some, just sharing in our experience and in our love. So the first thing for us to talk about would be planning the engagement, and I'll let Dee take over and sharing that.
Okay. So I decided like 3 to maybe 4 months ago that I was going to pop the question. So first advice I would give is to make sure that the first person that you share your plans with is with someone that's supportive. And so I can honestly say that was like one of the best moves. I think that relieved a lot of anxiety around okay, I know I have to talk to this list of people. So I went to one of her friends and just texted her and was like, so I'm ring shopping right now, and I'm gonna propose to Mariah. She was excited about it, so it was cool. So it was I had somebody on the inside that was cool, and whatever. So anyway, so next step was okay, I need to talk to her dad, because Mariah always told me that propose me, you have to talk to my dad. So I decided not to go there first and to talk to her brother first. Figuring that he could give me some pointers on how to approach his dad, what to say or whatever. So I called him, and he was just kind of okay, cool. He was supportive of it, and he was he kind of told me okay, just call him. He's gonna be cool about it. Maybe invite him out to dinner or something. And I was just me and her dad never hung out outside of her, so I was just kind of that's gonna be weird if I ask him to go out to dinner. That's just gonna be random as shit, and just awkward, sitting at a fucking table, and then it's I'm inviting him to dinner. I'm inviting him to dinner, and then not telling him what for, and then just gonna pop the question and be oh yeah, so I want to marry Mariah. So then he knows this whole dinner was staged. So I was okay, I'm not doing that. But it took me 3 months to really say I'm not doing that. And so it's I kind of put it off because I was just, it was too much or whatever. So I was just kind of I'll wait until the time is right or whatever. So that was one side of it. I talked to some of my family, and we also had this housewarming and her birthday coming up. So I was okay, so this would be the perfect time to do it. Everybody's here. It's already an event. So I thought about I should just leverage this event, because this is going to make life easier because people will already be here.
Should we tell them about the slip and slide?
Oh, yeah. So I'm okay, so I'm going to leverage this housewarming / 30th birthday party that we were having at the house, right? And so I'm thinking okay, I'm going to do it at the house, and, everything's going to be grand. But then Mariah threw a wrench in the plan because she wanted to have a slip and slide. And I'm okay.
All of you guys have seen the slip and slides, on Facebook, the posts are going around with everybody running down slip and slide and taking a shot and running back or falling and, busting their ass basically. So it just seemed like a really fun thing. And I polled my friends and I said, if I do this, who's gonna come and let's get it in? And people were saying, yeah, let's do it. And so I wanted to do it.
Yeah, and which was all cool, and it sounded like a great idea, but how was I going to propose to her on this slip and slide? And she's going to be all dirty and muddy from the slip and slide, and I'm going to go and put a ring on her finger. And I know how she is. Like, she was not going to, like, want her photos of her, like, all muddy and dirty, right? So I tried very hard to get this slip and slide off the itinerary. I failed.
We actually had an argument.
We had an argument.
You know, just for all honesty and for people who are planning, and you know, you're gonna have to lie to your significant other and maybe talk them out of something. We had an argument about it because she's trying to tell me that the yard wasn't big enough. And of course it is.
We have almost an acre lot. So I was just scratching for anything.
And I was like, it is. You never want to believe me. I know that it's going to fit. So it was a thing. And coming to find out, you know, she had good reason of trying to talk me out of it. But it's just, that was good. It was
Once I failed, the next day, I texted her friend because she was talking about getting the slip and slide out the picture. I said, I'm done with the slip and slide. She's passionate about it. Your turn. Like, you know, I was just kind of like, we're not about to be falling out over a slip and slide. So I was like,
and my friend did try and it didn't work. She was like, don't you want to go out and maybe we should go out on the town? I'm like, no, let's just have a house party. And she's like, well, what are you going to do for your birthday? I'm like, I'm just going to clean up from the party. Like, I didn't want to go out and be seen and get dressed up and dolled up. And I was just like, well, I guess if I got all these people coming in town and they'll want to see the city, and okay, I'll go out. But they had to talk me into it, so I'm knowing.
Yeah. And another word of advice also is like, Mariah has a very strong personality, right? We both have very strong personalities. Mm-hmm. And so like when we want something and we already got it figured out in our head, I mean, it's like good fucking luck, right? So one tactic that I used after the slip and slide fiasco was to allow her to feel like she was in control of everything that was happening that day. And then that way it was like, all I knew is that I was going to throw a wrench in the plan at the last minute to you know, propose to her. So we got her to agree to like go out the house and like, you know, and go
out the house
to get out the house. You know, after the party, after the slip and slide, because we wanted her, you know, to be dressed nice and stuff. So we got her to agree to like go out. She went and found a lounge. She went to go look at rooftops.
I did
for this party
recon. I went out like 2 weeks before on a Saturday and went to different rooftops around the city and just trying to figure out where can we go. So it worked out. I ended up finding a place.
Yeah.
It worked out.
Yeah, so she found a place. She was excited about it. I'm just in the background thinking like, okay, that's all cool. It was just smooth sailing. I let her plan all the shit. And I was just like, I knew what my plans was at the last minute. And I just knew it was going to work out, you know. But anyway, back to, so that was kind of like the day or whatever. But should we talk about like talking to your dad and stuff?
Sure.
Okay.
Or you could save it for like a special video talking to the dad.
Oh, okay. That's a special video.
We'll save that for a second video.
We'll save that. But yeah, so tip 2 is if you're going to like do a surprise engagement, the easiest way is to like find a little piece of that particular day to throw your surprise in, but allow it to like flow, because like trying to maneuver the whole day and plan it all out perfectly, it's just too much. So like somehow figure out a slot or something where you can like throw your engagement in there. And that's what I did. On the way to the club, you know, I told her that, well, I didn't tell her anything. So I had her friend tell her that there was going to be her friend was going to be, you know, he's a photographer and he was going to take pictures of the night. And so she assumed that this photographer was going to take the pictures at the club. And so we had already knew that it was going to be downtown Nashville on the walking bridge on the river. And so what we did was we knew like the last minute we were going to tell her like, okay, the photographer could not get a clearance to take pictures inside the club. So
it worked. And
it was like feeding candy to a baby. Okay?
I was ready to cancel. I was like, people were at the house, so I said, hey y'all, the photographer can't get in the club. Should we just cancel the photographer? I almost ruined it so many times.
Yeah, but it was like everybody around her knew what was going on but her. So when she was trying to cancel the photographer because he couldn't get in the club, everybody was like, no. Like, so I was like, well, what about somewhere else? And we just kind of like led her into whatever.
Doing it on the bridge.
Yeah. So it was on a bridge, and I had hired like a singer and a photographer. And so she thought she was going to go take like 30th birthday pictures or whatever, right? So we roll up like 15 deep already, just us. And there's like another like 15, damn near 20 people on the bridge already.
And I'm thinking that, all these people want to take pictures with me for my birthday? Okay, I guess people like actual, professional photography. And I'm still just kind of like, okay, why are y'all here? But I guess if everybody wants to take pictures, let's go. Like, I was still clueless it didn't hit me.
Yeah. And so she was like, y'all here to take pictures with me? And everybody's like, yeah, it's your birthday. She's like, okay. Like, so anyway, so we started taking the pictures, and I had already told the photographer to say, hey, I want to get a picture of you with everybody else behind you. That was the singer's cue to like start singing our song, which is Get You by Daniel Caesar. And so he didn't take his cue, so he didn't start singing. And so I'm like looking over at him like, he's like, now? And I'm like, yeah. Like, and so,
he was a young guy.
Yeah, he was a young guy, but he's like so fucking cool. He's like forever invited to everything. I mean, maybe not everything, but he was cool. So anyway, so he started singing or whatever, and then I'll let you take it from there on what you were thinking. At this point, my work was almost done.
My honest thoughts, because this is a help for those thinking about engaging, hopefully. When he started singing, I said, like I knew that it was about to happen. And so I was just like, okay. It was a little awkward just because I'm an outgoing person, but it was just a little awkward that he started singing. And I said, okay, out loud. So everybody was like, did you tell him to stop singing? But it was just weird. It was just a little weird, but it was nice. And I was like, especially
strong personality,
especially when he started singing our song. Like, it's our song, so I knew that that's what was about to happen. And then and maybe it was just like in my head, but I felt like he was singing a really long time. And so, like, the whole time he was singing, I'm just like, okay, when it's about to happen, how's it about to happen, she's about to do it. And it was just a lot was going through my mind.